Hello, everyone. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. I hope you're having a good Monday. Sunday wasn't so good, I must admit. Yesterday, we watched the worst performance of the season by a country mile yesterday. I don't know where to start with it, really, if I'm being honest. And I know I had a few comments in the comment section saying that me and Mitch sort of was overreacting to like what happened yesterday. But I'm sorry, but we weren't, like, in a way. Do you know what I mean? Fair enough. We could have lost. We could have tamed it down a bit, but we've got to be real here. And yesterday we had a golden opportunity to cement that top six, like, and basically have a bit of a points cushion with teams having to win games to try and catch us. And we just left the door wide open for them to come back into play again. Do you know what I'm saying? Yesterday's game for me was just flat, non-existent, not good enough, lack of ideas. They look knackered. Lack of rotation is another thing I'm going to have to say there. And just everything was lacking. Like even the personnel, like who come in, like Issa Diop. I'm sorry, but he's just not good enough, mate. I've backed him up. I've tried, and then I see things on social media and different channels and things about Saeed Benrahma, and people are saying he's at fault now, and I'm like, this man's on Ramadan, he's fasting, and he comes on and he does more than the front four put together did yesterday against Brentford. I don't understand it myself. I really don't. I don't understand where this sort of. I don't know. I think people just want this geezer out the door. If I'm honest, I think you got the percentage of the fan base like myself who I think Saeed has been mistreated by Moyes to a point. I think I'm not saying he's been vintage Saeed Benrahma this year, but he's the third highest goal scorer at the club, and he's just treated like a piece of shit. Really, if I'm being honest, do you know what I mean? Like he's just not good enough, not worthy of wearing a West Ham shirt. And I've seen people comparing him, saying that he's the worst player that's ever played a West Ham shirt, and I'm like there has to be an agenda there. There has to be. There's no choice about it. Mikel Antonio yesterday, like, I'm sorry, but when people keep telling me that he's our striker and he's not a natural striker, on his job description, right? When you search Google and you go Mikel Antonio, it comes up Mikel Antonio, West Ham United centre forward striker. That is what he does for a living. Now, where was he yesterday? And you can't. And people say, "Oh, he's knackered." He's knackered. 2 weeks ago, we had an international break. He had 2 weeks off, Mikel Antonio. He didn't go to Jamaica, and he had a nice little rest, right, which was perfect to lead into like the last sort of 8 games of the season. And then he has a good game against Everton, right, and he done pretty well. Fair enough. He worked hard against Lyon, right, but they all worked hard against Lyon. It wasn't just him, yeah. And then against Brentford, even from the start, he was just like he just couldn't be bothered. Just could not be bothered, right? And for me, I've always said this: West Ham need a striker at this club, if not two. If they don't go and get a striker this summer, then there must be some sort of like motive in behind it. Do you know what I'm saying? Other players yesterday, Zuma going off is a major blow, like to a point. I'm not sure. I haven't checked it out today, but obviously it was his ankle that went wrong a little bit. And I just hope he ain't out on Thursday, because if he's out and we've got to go with Issa Diop and Dawson, I think it is good night from the Europa League for us. Issa isn't good enough, and Dawson's literally over. Like, he's doing wonderful things, Dawson. Do you know what I mean? But we're asking a lot on Craig Dawson to try and turn into this masterclass. Do you know what I'm saying? Even though he has been great. Who else was there? Obviously, Cresswell got sent off, and he got sent off on Thursday. And yesterday he was dreadful, mate. Absolutely dreadful. Like, I mean, I've not seen nothing like it in my life. And for me, moving forward, because this is a huge week ahead, yeah, there's got to be some sort of like motivation at present. There has to be. Do you know what I'm saying? There has to be some sort of like we let the fan base down on Sunday. We can't go and let them down on Thursday. And I think Thursday is probably the biggest game in the club's modern day history. I thought Seville was. Now it goes up another level. Lyon is a massive game on Thursday. And after what I see yesterday, I am worried big time because I feel if we concede the first goal over there, then it could be another Brentford situation, Arsenal situation, like it has been this year, where we go 1-0 down and then it's like the game just sort of filters away. Listen, I've got faith in the boys, but they just look dead on their feet. And that falls on Moyes, I'm afraid. Do you know what I'm saying? Moyes had a chance to go out in January window and go and sign some players, and he basically decided to put his fingers up to that and go, no, this team's good enough. We can go with what we got. And we've been very, very lucky this season. Fair enough, we've lost a Bonner with an injury, yeah. But Kirk Zuma, we lost for an injury, and we was lucky to get him back early. Cresswell, we lost with an injury, and he was out for about 8 weeks, and we got him back. Do you know what I'm saying? So we've been pretty lucky in certain situations. Like, we haven't lost Jared Bowen. Like, we lost Jared Bowen for 2 games, I think it was, 2-3 games. Mikel Antonio, we've been very, very lucky with. We haven't lost him at all. Do you know what I mean? But he's lost the way of scoring a goal at the minute. Do you know what I'm saying? So, moving forward to Thursday, I look at it like this. This is my thoughts on the Thursday's game. We have just got to contain and maintain like Lyon, and we've got to play like we're on. We've got to play that we're playing like someone like Liverpool saying we're going to hit on the break. Because I do feel, I know Lyon lost a few players the other day, but they looked a good side. They did look a good side at the LS. Right. I know West Ham had 11 men and they was up against a Lyon team and a referee and a VAR and a linesman, everything. But they did look good. Right. They had certain players who sort of very creative, moving the ball around. And they look lively. Do you know what I mean? So for me, on Thursday, we've just got to, there's got to be a reaction from that Brentford game, right? And I hope Moyes has had a good, long, hard look at it, right? Also, what I saw yesterday, which I've always said this, I will get to the comments shortly, is that Lanzini and Pablo Fornals just cannot play together in the same team. I've always said this, yeah? Certain games they can, if you're going to have a lot of the ball and you're going to be that dominating team. But yesterday, they was just poor, the pair of them. Like, Pablo, you can give him benefit of the doubt, but Lanzini, you can't. Like, he's come back, he should be fit, firing. I know an accident on the A12 and all that, do you know what I mean? But, like, if he's not fit and he's not firing, then that's down to the medical team and Moyes. That's as simple as that. Do you know what I'm saying? So I've always said that them two together just don't blend. Like, it's not like they're not going to score you many goals. Yeah, they're good passers of the ball, but who they passing it to? Like, if you're got them 2 players in the team, and basically the opposition's defence do literally man mark Antonio, then you rely on Jared Bowen to score the goals, basically. Do you know what I'm saying? So obviously Lyon's a big game, but then next week is an absolutely massive game, right, against Burnley. Right, and I do say this quite openly, it is massive. Because if it goes wrong on Thursday night, then we have to beat Burnley. There's no two ways about it. Because if we lose against Burnley or draw the game, we have then got Chelsea and Arsenal to come up. Chelsea away, Arsenal at home. Yeah? They are big London derbies, right? And we would literally need to take at least 4 points out of the pair of them. And the way we're playing, like, and I agree with what Mitchell said. We haven't this season from last season. When you see Lingard last season, we was like when we was counter attacking, we looked frighteningly good, like really, really good. Yeah, I don't remember a game this season where we've absolutely battered a team to bits. Like, I can name a few last season, like Leicester away was one of them. Wolves at home and we battered them 4-0. Like, that's to name a few. Do you know what I'm saying? Sheffield United at home 3-0. Like, the games this season that West Ham's played, Watford were beaten 1-0 at home. Norwich, I think we beat them 1-0 at home. Like, we haven't been that sort of team that we was last season. Right? We really, really haven't. And I don't know where that's gone. I don't know what's happened there. Was it the Jesse Lingard factor? Was it that he was just absolutely made for West Ham, and that's what happened? But this season, I think we've done well in certain games. Like, I can name, like, the game for me was Liverpool at home, where we was excellent from start to finish. Pablo Fornals was like world class that day. But in other games this season, people will look at it and say, "Oh yeah, but look, we beat Chelsea. He wasn't going to beat Chelsea." If Mazuaku does that, Mazuaku scores that freak goal, but that's blending out into a draw. Do you know what I mean? And it was a hard fought draw, that would have been. So there's other games like that we've done well in, but this season we haven't blasted the team out of the ground. Like, from what I can remember. Do you know what I mean? If someone can tell me in the chat, then I like to hear it. But it is what it is. Anyway, let's get to your comments and have a look and see what everyone's saying. Scotty Venn, the chef, is in the house. He says, blame Benrahma. No comment. The whole team were poor yesterday. It was simply a write-off. Yeah, yes, we would be annoyed that we didn't put in the effort, but it was just one game unless they are actually knackered. If they are actually knackered, though, Jezza, which I understand what you're saying, if they are actually knackered, then that falls on the medical team and Moyes. Because Moyes must look at these players. And I do want to put a bit of blame to Moyes, even though he's been the messiah, as everyone says. Keep playing the same team over and over and over and over again. What does he expect? Like, if you keep doing it, you're going to get burnt out eventually. You know what I mean? They're not robots. And for me, there's certain players should have played yesterday. Like, listen, I'm not his biggest fan, but the first person that should have played yesterday was Vlasic. Like, he should have come on. Like, he should have started, really. Like, do you really need Pablo Fornals playing yesterday against Brentford? Not really. Right? You can get around it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can best him up, play him on Thursday. But I just feel there needs to be there needs to be the biggest transfer window in the club's history this summer. But am I convinced that that's going to happen? I just don't know, lads, if I'm honest. If I'm being truly honest, I've just got no clue whether that will happen or not. And we need it. We need a striker. We need a left back. We need a central midfield, if not two of them. We need some players. Do you know what I mean? Because half our players are at the door. It's interesting. Robert Singleton, let's face it, we are all disappointed we didn't take the chance to stay in contention for the top six. Brentford are no mugs. That they beat Chelsea 4-1 at Stamford. All players were at fault. I understand that, but when Wolves lose, Man United lose, Arsenal lose, and the door opens up, yeah, that is when big teams take advantage. And that is the problem at the minute, yeah? Listen, West Ham, I love West Ham to death, but we don't act like a big team, though, sometimes. Like, you look at Spurs the other day, and I don't like to mention Spurs, but they go to Villa and they put four past them, no problem. And for us to, like, even if we would have went to Brentford and drew the game, it's still a good point. But to go there and get absolutely destroyed the way we did, that's not cool in my eyes. That's just like laying down. That to me was like they turned up, laid down, and said, "Right, you're going to win the game, but it's just by how many." Like, we could have still been there now watching that game, and they still wouldn't have scored a goal, West Ham. And that's the problem. Do you know what I'm saying? Easy, James. How you doing, mate? Hope you're well. James, what do you think about X saying that we will definitely be looking at the free market? Obviously, candidates are Jesse Lingard, James Tarkowski, and Breton Diaz. Yeah, because what it is, this summer, there's a lot of free transfers where players have run their contracts down. Doesn't matter as long as we do. But if someone said to me right now, you're going to spend 80 million and go and get 5 free transfers, and then 5 free transfers are Jesse Lingard, Tarkowski, and a few others, then yeah, by all means. But I want to see young players at this club. Like, I want to see Brendan, what's his name? Brendan Johnson. I want to see Keane Lewis Potter from Hull. That's the sort of players I want to see at West Ham. I want to see young, fresh players who are up for it 100%, who have got a point to prove. Johnson at Forest is absolutely class, right? And I've said it on this channel multiple times, like I've said about Ivan Toney multiple times. And I don't like to keep banging the drum, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Like these, if you want to be a big club, yeah, we're going to have to start acting like one, and we need to sign players. Like, and what worries me, this was the only thing that worried me with the winter window, is that we are in our best moment and we still can't sign no one at this club. Now, if they go out and they go and sign players, then great. But I'm more worried about losing Declan Rice and Bowen. Do you know what I mean? Right, which is a major concern. Because I think if you lose one of them, that sets us back 2 years straight away. Because that means we get the money, we've got to go and sign players up who we don't know whether they're going to hit the ground running, and then go from there. So it's an interesting one. It really is. Did Lanzini and Fornals not both start against Seville when we won? That's one game though, Jazza. I can name you 2 games where they didn't. But I can name you the Arsenal away game for the starters, where they got absolutely ruined, and I can name you the Leicester game where we got where we scored in the 93rd minute and Dawson, and then 2 started. So you can name one game, but you got to be honest. I don't think Lanzini played in the second game though, Jezza, as my memory serves me correctly. First game he did, but we lost that 1-0. I think Ben Rubber played in the second game, if I remember rightly. Lee says we need to stay positive. Yes, I agree, mate. I agree. I try and stay as positive as I can be, but I've got to be as real as I can be. Like I can't sit there and be false in my positivity. What's the point? Do you know what I'm saying? But I agree. This is not the first time most results went our way and we failed to materialise. Yeah. Benaya. Moyes should have rested half of the first team. The game must have damaged Antonio's confidence. Also, her Lanzini will drive the team coach. Bad ideas. 100%, mate. That's the one criticism of Moyes I will have to say. Like in 2 games now, yeah, just before Europa League games, you've done it against Seville away in the last round, and he's done it yesterday. He goes with his strongest team, and like, listen, at Liverpool away, we all know that it's going to be tough to get something up there, right? He goes with Bowen, and Bowen gets injured. Do you know what I mean? And yet again, we're lucky. Right? We're lucky. It's only minor. Do you know what I mean? Because if he would have had if he'd have broke his ankle or done his tendons in his ankle, he's out for months, and that's it. That's good night from Bowen for the season. So we've been lucky there. So I don't get it. Do you know what I mean? I think sometimes I look at Moyes and I think you are being very stubborn in the way you're approaching things. You're sitting on there, you got Vlasic sitting on there, and I'm not Vlasic's biggest fan, as I say, but he's there, use him. You've got other players who could have come on and done something there. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's an interesting one. Gary, evening. I'm not sure what players Moyes has brought in. I don't think any of the signings are his. I don't think he can make his mind up. I agree. Now, listen, I try and be as honest as I can be on this channel, yeah, and wherever channel that I am on, right? Because no one wants someone on there talking crap at the end of the day, and that's what it is. But the moment Jesse Lingard wasn't happening and we went and signed Vlasic, that's a panic buy, my lads. Because no one knew Vlasic was coming. I don't care even if you're the most in the know person, no one knew that Nikola Vlasic was coming. And no one could sit there and say that Moyes would have signed Jesse Lingard and Vlasic. It just wouldn't happen, right? Because he don't need 2 of them, he needs 1. And the one he wanted, he couldn't get. So I just feel some of the signings that he's done this over the last sort of few windows have been poor. Do you know what I mean? I think has Crowell been given a chance? Not really. Has he been good enough? Not really, to a point. But it's we're signing him up because he's mates with Souček and Kofel. You know what I'm saying? So that one's a bad signing. I do think Vlasic is a bad signing. I'm sorry, but I do. I just don't see he's been in the Premier League. He's not fast. He done yesterday. He come on. State your claim for a spot, mate. You're the most expensive signing from the summer, and you've done nothing again. So, and listen, Kirk Zuma was a good signing. Don't get me wrong. I'll hold my hands up and say it's a good signing, but yet again, it was a signing that was perfect for us at the time. Like, he wanted to stay in London. Like, he didn't want to move up north or anywhere like that. And West Ham were there looking for a centre half. So it's sort of, he wanted to stay in London. Like, West Ham in the centre half, and the two sort of blended together. Do you know what I'm saying? So Ariola's been a good signing. Do you know what I mean? But I will know more about Areola in the summer. Now, if Ariola's loaned again or is signed, if Areola's signed, it's a great signing. Yeah, you've got to give him 10 out of 10 for that. But Areola should have played more games this season than he has. Like, to play Europa League, granted, he's done well. League games, League Cup games, FA Cup games. Yeah, he's done pretty good. Right, and in the last round, the save he made it in against Seville at the LS was a world-class save. And if that's one of the top keepers like Alisson or Edison or, do you know what I mean, Mendy or something, everyone's raving. Everyone's raving, saying, wow, like, amazing and all that. But it's because it's Areola and he plays West Ham, it doesn't get a mention. So, is what it is. Lingard was the man who glued the defence and attack together. We missed that this year. I must admit, I totally agree, mate. We've got no ball carriers in our team other than Jared Bowen. I've always said that. I look at Antonio. Listen, I don't like to go critical on Antonio, but my eyes don't lie. When he ain't performing, you've got to say he's not performing. And in the last 14 games in the Premier League, he hasn't scored a goal. Like, he hasn't scored a goal in the Prem since the 1st of January. And now we're in the middle of, or come up to the middle of April. So it is a worry, let's be honest. When you go on a drought like that, then yeah, it is what it is. What happened to the banter show? Mick, enlighten me, mate. Whatever banter show that is. Do you know what I mean? Unless that's on the other one, unless that's another person you're on about. You know what I mean? We don't do banter here. I'm too serious. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm more worried about the creativity in the team more than buying a striker. It's shockingly shit. But the problem is, mate, if we ain't got a striker who can put the ball in the back of the net, like, I've always said this, yeah, and I've said it for a long time, Ivan Toney's the man. Ivan Toney's the man that you can go and get. You go and get him out of Brentford, and he'll be a top quality striker for West Ham. He would be. Do you know what I'm saying? We need someone who's natural born striker. And like, Antonio next season shouldn't be starting for West Ham. He should be like coming in and doing like roles, like a centre forward role if we're short, or a right winger role if we're short. Do you know what I mean? And then you can sort of rotate it around. I think Antonio, certain games for Antonio, he's mustard. But then some games he just doesn't cut it. He just does not cut it at all. That's a problem. Gavin Murphy, I just can't for the life of me understand why he didn't put on some of the youngsters. They all look shattered. The only thing I can suggest on that, and Mitchell, who comes on my channel, says this perfectly, Moyes just doesn't deal with the youngsters. Like, he hasn't got a lot of time for the youngsters. Like, Longello, like, let's be honest, we need a left back. Yeah, a few months ago when Cresswell was out, nothing. Nothing at all. Like, he's put in Ben there. He's put in Arthur there. We all know Arthur Mezawaka's not a left back. He's not even a left wing back. Do you know what I mean? And he's putting him there over a youngster. But one thing I will give him is when the chips were down and we was running out of right backs because Kafal was out, I think Ben was out, he did play Ashby. And I like Ashby. I thought Ashby was absolutely first class. I really did. For a young lad, Tottenham away in the cup, he was up for it. He was like, that's the sort of players that we want at West Ham. We want them hungry young lads. And Harrison Ashby's the future, mate. And I'd love to see him in the West Ham shirt in the first team next season. 100%. Like, I think he's top. I really do. I think he's top quality. It's been at the summer window. That is the summer window. We are banging on the European door. We're hardly struggling at the bottom. I understand that, Jezza, right? But you've also got to understand that this is a new West Ham. And if we can't sign players in our best moment, what makes you think we can sign them at any time? And the worry is, would you be saying that if Declan Rice walks out the door in the summer? Because I know what's going to happen in the summer. I think Declan goes. I think Dec goes. We get the money for Declan, and that'll be the money to rebuild the squad. There's no way that GSB are going to fork over 80, 90 million, 100 million, right? When they're selling up next year. Not a chance. If anyone thinks they're going to do that, then I don't know what they're seeing. Do you know what I mean? Why would they do that when they've got an asset? They can just sell the asset and then the money goes into the club and that's it. Or they can keep the money, for all we know. Do you know what I mean? Another thing is like, what's Rob Newman been doing? Like, he's supposed to be coming in to be a chief scout, and he's scouting no one. Do you know what I mean? Spent more time on tea and biscuits, geezer. The money excuses are coming out already because of the war. Right, definitely being sold at a low price with this lot. 100%, Gary. 100%. The thing is, right? If there is for me, there is no excuse from the owners this summer. There is no excuse. I said it last year. I said that West Ham need to go out and buy this, and this. That's what I said. I said it on different channels, and I staked it 100% over and over again. This season, there is no excuse now, right? Because if you want to build a squad, Yarmolenko's gone, Fredericks is gone, Lanzini could probably go back to Argentina, Kral's gone, Noble's retiring. That's 4 players I've named off the top of my head that we need to replace before we even add to our squad. So there's no excuses now. Like, and if people sit there and say about the money and all that, it's not about the money. It's about the strength and depth. Like, I don't want West Ham to just be a 24-month team. Oh, we've been good for the last 2 years, and then we go back to being like fucking Crystal Palace or Brighton. Do you know what I mean? Mid-table like team. And the thing is, it only takes one bad season for us to go like that straight down. It happened years ago, back in 2003, when we went down with arguably the best team that I've seen with West Ham. Like, we had Cole, Canute, Di Canio, Defoe. Do you know what I mean? We had a Carrick, Glenn Johnson. We had a phenomenal team. And if you can go down with that team, yeah, you can go down with any team. It's as simple as that. Yeah, we need quite a few players for the depth, but we don't need to upgrade much. I'd like to ask Jazza this. Jazza, what do you think we need to upgrade? Because I can name probably 3 positions right now where we need to upgrade. For me, we need to upgrade a striker because the one we've got is inconsistent. That's the first one. We need to upgrade a centre half. I think Craig Dawson's done very, very good, and Zuma's as a pair, but they need someone in there who's quality. Younger, fitter, fresher, someone who ain't going to get injured much, because let's be honest, Zuma's like gets injured quite a bit. And for how good Dawson is, Dawson shouldn't be first choice at West Ham. It's as simple as that. Do you know what I mean? If you're chasing certain things, Dawson's good for certain games, granted, but he shouldn't be first choice. Do you know what I mean? Because he just shouldn't. Like, he should be a younger player coming in there who's quality. So it'd be interesting to see what Jessa says about that. Brentford put us back in our place. Some of our fans think we have the right to beat the team to the bottom. I expect to beat a team that lost at home against Norwich. Like, this is a Brentford side that played Norwich at home and got absolutely battered. And let's be honest, when we are fighting for certain things in the Premier League, we have to go to these teams and stake and own it. We didn't own nothing yesterday. They owned us. Do you know what I'm saying? Do we have any right to go there and win? No, but you can at least put some effort in. Like, there's nothing stopping them running about, having a go. But there was just nothing yesterday. Absolute nothing. The issue with young, fresh players is that they could end up up like Arsenal, but can also end up like Leicester and Norwich. I think we could do some European experience like Zuma. Listen, when people say about Arsenal spent 130 million. Let's not forget that. West Ham spent 60 million. So Arsenal spent double, right? And I understand people are going to say, well, look where we are, look where Arsenal are, right? But Arsenal will go and spend that again this year. There's no guarantees West Ham are going to go and spend 60 million this year. Do you know what I mean? Do I look at younger players? I've named one player who's a younger player who's lining it up in the Championship. Brennan Johnson at Forest. He's a top player. He's a Welsh player. He's a winger, pace, scores goals. There you go. Like, do you know what I mean? You haven't got to go out and spend millions upon millions, but I don't want us to penny pinch and just try and bring in players just for the sake of it. Do you know what I'm saying? We should be going out and signing a striker. That should be the main objective. There should be no questions that West Ham don't go out and get a striker. But knowing us, we'll probably get Eddie Nketiah on a free, yeah. And people will go, well, we'll go with that. Antonio up front, Eddie Nketiah as a backup. Sorry, that ain't good enough, man. Come on, Eddie Nketiah is not good enough, and he's not good enough for Arsenal. But people think he's going to be good enough for us. There you go. Lanzini was suspended for the Lyon game, so he must have played for versus Seville. No, he was injured against Seville Jezza because he had a car accident, mate. In the first leg, he got booked. So he got booked in the first leg. He was out in the second leg because I think he was injured or something, and then he didn't play. So I might be wrong, but we could be way ahead of Spurs and Arsenal if we had got a few players in January. Now, that's a great point from Hammer's dad, yeah? Look at Spurs, for instance. Spurs were miles behind, right? They were massively in trouble, yeah? And they was losing against Southampton. They lost against someone else. They got beat, Burnley, I think it was, yeah? And their fans were massively in uproar, right? Oh, we want Conte out. This is not good enough. They've gone on a run because they've signed two good players from Juventus, yeah? And the Swedish guy is bloody good, right? Even though I don't like to say it, yeah, but he is, right? And he's made a difference. Like, if we would have signed two players, that could have made the difference. You know what I mean? But it's like stubbornness. It's like, oh, because we haven't done that, oh, don't matter, but look where we are. Look where we could be, right? When you look where at present, West Ham are what, 6 points behind Spurs now? We could have easily cut that in half and been right on top of them for top four. Do you know what I mean? Top four's gone. Right, after yesterday, I was like, there's a glimmer there. If we win, because I know Spurs can fold, right? Not now. It's game over for that. But I'm more worried about top six because Man United won't be as bad as they are, even though next week's game, they've got Liverpool away. Now, if they go to Liverpool and they lose that game and we beat Burnley, we will go 3 points ahead of them. And that's what we need. We need to get ahead of Man United. I don't want us to go in the Europa Conference League. Flipping hell. What's all that about? We're better than that. Let's hope some of our youngsters who beat Leeds under 23 today 5-1, let's say. Yeah. What's that? Yarmolenko's had more chances of scoring that Antonio, and he's not even a starter. Yeah, pretty true point. You said about the youngsters. I know that one. We don't create enough chances. What does it matter if we buy a top striker? The left side attackers in our side need sorting. It's been a crap all season. The problem is with the left-sided attacker is you've got Pablo Fornals on the left, who's not an attacker. He's a workhorse. He's an industrial midfielder, in my opinion. We need a striker who will make them runs. Like when you look at other teams, they play balls over the top, balls through the middle, and their striker runs it through the middle and puts it away. We don't. We play side to side. We go down one side, we go down the other side. We play triangles, and then we put a cross into who? No one. Like, let's be honest. Jared Bowen doesn't score many headers. Right? Pablo Fornals, I don't think he's. Yeah. Benny is not a header merchant. Right? I can openly say that. And Antonio. Now, if they man mark Antonio's out the game, and then we're knackered. Well, who are we crossing into? Souček. And so that means we're relying on our DM to score goals. Which we need a striker. There's no two ways about it. We need a striker at this club, and then people will see the difference between a good striker and a very, very, very good striker. Champions League isn't realistic no matter how much we spend. Dex leaving next summer, latest, no matter what. There's no point in spending just to keep him here. Yeah, but what you do, there's such a thing as what is it? You got to like speculate to accumulate, ain't you? Let's be honest here. If if you're wanting to like go to the top, you're gonna have to spend some dough, mate. There's no two ways about it. Like you can't sit there and go, "Oh no, we don't need to spend no dough because of, like we want to keep Declan Rice here." Declan Rice will be gone in the summer. Mark my words. When Manchester City will buy him, right? Or he won't go to Liverpool. Manchester United, if they get Ten Hag, I think it is. Yeah, would he go another route? Possibly, because he knows a few Dutch players, like, and he's very, very good manager. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea, if they get a brand new owner, he could go back to Chelsea. Yeah, and people say about Chelsea, if Chelsea get a brand new owner and they want to make a statement signing, Declan Rice is the perfect one for them. Like, do you know what I mean? He's ex-Chelsea. Go and pay West Ham what they want, and they'll get him in, and that will appease the Chelsea fans. So, I think that Declan, if we don't qualify for Europe this year, I think if we qualify for Europe, he stays. If we don't qualify for no Europe, he's gone. Lee says, call me a bellend, but if Dele Alli had come to us at the beginning of the season, I personally think he would have been a totally different player now. I think he's fell out of love with the game, mate. If I'm honest, I'll keep that short and sweet. I think he enjoys the money, but it's like it's a burden to him now playing football now. Do you know what I mean? It's like he's got the dough. He's made it, isn't he? So he hasn't got to graft for it for any reason. And I do believe that maybe he needs to go abroad to get his football back. For me, we need to upgrade a striker unless Abona has come back as an awful player. Yeah, but Abona's 36 years old, though, Jezza. Come on, man. Come on. Angelo Abona, you cannot, like, he's 36 years old, mate. So you're going to put him up against, like, someone rapid. Angelo's been great. Don't get me wrong. Come on. And I'll be the first one to admit he's been absolutely first class since he's signed from, I think it's Bologna or Juventus. Yeah. But he's like, you need to be aiming younger, not, let's just keep them here. You know, we're going to have Dawson and like 2 over 35 players coming in our ranks soon. I mean, Jazz is on one. Let's have a look. And that's all the comments there. All right. I'm going to leave it at that. What we got here? Let's have a look. Right. All my comments have sort of froze. But for me, I look at it like this, yeah. When you're looking at other players, especially moving forward, we need to freshen up. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't think people understand, yeah, that next season, first of all, Newcastle will spend, and they will go after players that West Ham are linked with. Yeah, they might even come after Bowen. Do you know what I mean? Well, if West Ham get a decent bid for Bowen, with our owners, nothing surprises me. Nothing surprised me if they said, you know what, we'll sell Bowen right now. Like, if you give us £80 million, right? Would that be good business? 80 million for a player that we paid 25 for. It's good business, isn't it? Let's be honest. Do you know what I mean? But it's not good for us as a team. Now, we've got to compete with Newcastle, Leicester, Fulham. No, not Fulham. Villa, sorry, not Fulham, even though they're going to come up. And even like other teams like Palace. Like Palace are slowly, like Vieira's working his magic there, mate. Trust me. And I know they lost yesterday, but he's a manager that he will want to try and get into Europe. So I don't want us to be that same old team that we've had a good couple of years. I want us to sort of maintain this because we deserve it. The amount of suffering we've done as West Ham fans over the last X amount of years, right? We deserve a bit of success or some sort of like enjoyment in European football. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. And obviously, moving forward after the Lyon game, we need to get in at least in the top 7. if we did get the Europa Conference League, I think it'd be like, yeah, well, it's great, but it's going to be all them rough old places all around Europe, and do you know what I mean? It won't be your Sevilles. It'll be like parts of Scandinavia, mate. Trust me. And when it's freezing, then they will know. Uh, we couldn't even manage a loan deal, but Moyes brought Oko Flex from Celtic youth. I think. Just why? Honestly, mate, Oko Flex is a weird one. It's a strange one for me, Lee. If I'm honest. I've seen a bit of Oko Flex because when they used to do their games at Dagenham and Redbridge, I used to call over there and watch a lot of the under-23 games, and he's very, very good. But for some reason, him, Theo Neves, don't ever get a mention. I can understand the centre half Baptiste and Elise because you really need experience at the back. You need not so much experience. You need quality, right? And they are good, but they're not proven. That's the only problem with them two centre halves. Elise went out on loan to Cambridge and didn't do nothing really, and he got loaned back. Now, if he went out to a Championship side, then maybe get him back next season, and then we're good to go. I do feel Connor Coventry is going to come back a different player, and I do believe Connor Coventry comes back and he will be definitely around the first team next season. Do you know what I mean? And if he ain't, then it's time to go. Like he's at MK Dons right now. He's had a mixed season. Like he went to Peterborough at the start of the season, and I thought it was a poor loan for him. I thought, why would you put a player who you want to boost up in a team where they're going to get battered every week? And Peterborough have been getting battered every other week, sort of thing. And then he dropped down the league, went to MK Dons, and he has looked pretty decent. Some of the goals that he scored a great goal the other week on a Coventry. Now, hopefully, that's going to blend him into the player that we want him to be. But it's a risk, isn't it? It's like if he comes back and he doesn't do it again, I think how old's Connor Coventry now? I think he's 22, 23 years old. Do you know what I mean? So he's around the same age as Rice, and hopefully he'll come back and he'll do it. But we will see. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. But my final sort of insight to this week is Thursday is massive. There's no two ways about it. We are massive. That is massive. And if we beat Lyon, then I think every one of the fan base will look at it and go, it's all on the Europa League now. Like we're 2 games away, 2 ties away from glory. And that would be glory, honestly. If West Ham went on to win the Europa League, it'd probably be unbelievable. Like the atmosphere, the fan base. Oh, mate, with the amount of hurt that this club and the fans have gone through, for me, if we went and won the Europa League, I think everyone would just be in bits. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's a massive game on Thursday, and we have to turn up there. Like, there's no, we feel tired and all that. They need to rest up. They've got to understand that this is an important game. And if we do get through, touch wood, we do get through. I hope Moyes takes a note of this, and he turns around and says, right, when we are playing in the semi-final, if we do get through, that he will have to rotate half of that team. Do you know what I mean? Not keep playing the same players, because you are just asking for it, Moyes. And I do sometimes think Moyes puts himself in the mire, basically. Like, over what? Like, because he's a bit stubborn and he doesn't want to do any rotation. I think the fan base would accept that. If yesterday we would have rotated 5-6 players and we'd have lost that game 2-0, I can probably guarantee that all the fan base would have gone, no worries, it don't matter, we can accept it, we can move on, right? And that's what everyone would have said. We can accept it. It is what it is. Look at Thursday. That's what we're aiming for. But to turn up there with a full-strength team as good as, like, your starting left-back who's suspended now, like your 2 starting centre-halves that are going to, was going to play on Thursday night, your 2 DMs who are definitely going to play on Thursday night, your right winger who's playing Thursday night, your striker that's playing Thursday night, and your left-sided attacking maestro in Fornells. He's going to play Thursday night. It's not like you got to rotate. Do you know what I mean? And I just hope Moyes takes a lot of notice. I really, really do. Roy, hope you are well, sir, mate. Long time no speak. Hope you're all good, brother. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to let everyone enjoy their Monday evening. On Thursday, whatever happens, we're all West Ham in the end, right? And listen, we go down like fighting, or we go through to the next round fighting through. Do you know what I mean? But I just hope Moyes has a look at this. I really, really do, and says, right, rotation. That, do you know what I mean? He's been very, very lucky in two injuries, and you can't keep like pushing your luck in certain situations. But we will see. Anyway, please do like the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. I had a good few subscribers the other day, I must admit. Whether or not it was me and Mitchell ranting about yesterday's game, I don't know. And if I was a bit out of turn with my language, I do apologise if anyone was watching that. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm a passionate West Ham fan. I want to see us do well. Like, I mean, I'm 35 years old. I've seen us get to one cup final and lose that. That's been hard. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that 2006 FA Cup final was pain. Do you know what I mean? And to lose that then in the 94th minute when Gerrard smashes that ball in, I want to see us do some glory. Do you know what I mean? Before I'm out of here, basically. So yeah. Anyway, take care. Enjoy yourselves. Wherever you're watching the game, I will hope you enjoy it. You enjoy it as much as I do. And yeah, come on, West Ham. Listen, please, please, please. If you want to put in a masterclass performance, do it on Thursday. Anyway, bye for now.